Chapter 6. As they walked home, the kids talked about the theft. Josh stopped walking. A sly look shone from his green eyes. "I figured it out," he whispered. "I know who stole the money." "Who?" Dink said. "It was Tyrone," Josh said. "While everyone was asleep, he walked to the bank and made a dino deposit." Dink shoved Josh, and Ruth Rose rolled her eyes. Before splitting up, they agreed to meet and walk to the fireworks together. "Drop off your sleeping bags at my house," Dink said. "My folks said we could sleep outside after the fireworks." "And wear dark clothes," Josh said. At 8:30, Josh, Ruth Rose, and their families met at Dink's house. Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose piled their sleeping bags on the picnic table. The adults carried blankets, bags of popcorn, and bug spray. Nate, Brian, and Bradley each brought their favorite stuffed animals. The three families walked to Main Street and turned left. They took another left at Holly's gas station. From there, it was only a short walk down East Green Street to the swimming pool, where the fireworks were set up. "Why are you three dressed in black?" Ruth Rose's dad asked. "You look like ninjas." "We're hoping the mosquitoes won't see us in the dark," Ruth Rose said, glancing at Dink. Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose walked ahead, leaving the others behind. "Good thinking," Josh said when he was sure he couldn't be overheard. A few minutes later, they all arrived at the town pool. Hundreds of people were already there. Blankets and chairs covered the lawns near the pool, tennis courts, and baseball fields. The fire truck was parked nearby in case it was needed. "I see Judd, Scoop, and Dean," Josh said. The three men sat leaning against the fence that surrounded the baseball field. "Let's go sit with them." "We can't," Ruth Rose said. "If we do, they'll see us sneak away later." "Well, let's at least go over and say hi," Dink said. "Yeah, and we can see if Dean looks guilty," Josh commented. The kids wove their way through the blankets and chairs. Judd noticed them first and stood up. "Howdy," he said, waving. "You guys want to sit with us?" Scoop and Dean said hi, too, but didn't stand up. "Can't," Josh said. "We have to stay near our parents." "Officer Fallon is a nice guy," Judd said. "I sure hope he can find our money. We're taking Tyrone down tomorrow and leaving." "Where are you going?" Ruth Rose asked. "New Haven first, then a bunch of other towns," Scoop said. "We have a lot more money to earn." Dean didn't join the conversation. His dark eyes stared straight ahead. "Good evening," a voice said. It was Mr. Linkletter, the Shangri-La Hotel's manager. He was sitting on a lawn chair a few feet away. Everyone said hi. "I hope your room is comfortable," Mr. Linkletter said to Judd and Scoop. "It's great," Judd answered. Just then, a circle of blue light lit the sky over their heads. "Ooh!" cried hundreds of people. "They're starting," Ruth Rose said. "We'd better go find our parents." "How about breakfast at Ellie's tomorrow?" Judd asked. "I don't want to leave without saying goodbye." "Sure," Dink said. "What time?" "We're getting up real early to load Tyrone onto the truck, so how about 9 o'clock?" "We'll be there," said Dink. The kids walked away toward their families. They picked a spot near the tennis courts where they could still keep an eye on the three men by the fence. "Guys, did you hear what Judd said?" Ruth Rose asked. "They're taking Tyrone apart tomorrow." "So if that's where Dean hid the money, he needs to get it before then," Josh said. "Or whoever," Dink added. "Trust me, it's Dean," Josh went on. "Did you guys notice how he just sat and didn't say a word to anyone? In my book, that spells Guilty, guilty." Volunteer firefighters had built a low barricade around the fireworks. The police had placed detour signs on River Road to keep cars away. Firefighters in white T-shirts went through the crowd handing out tiny American flags. For a few minutes, the kids watched fireworks bursting over their heads. The sky went from black to red, white and blue. The crowd clapped and whistled and yelled. "When the next really big one goes off, let's boogie," Josh whispered. A second later, the sky blossomed into a giant yellow flower. While every eye was looking up, Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose slipped away into the dark. They darted across East Green Street and raced to the high school lawns. A nearly full moon cast the dinosaur shadow halfway across the playing field. Behind the kids, the sky was still lit with fireworks. A breeze swept across the field, making the yellow tape rattle against the stakes. "Now what?" Dink asked. "I really don't like being here, guys." "I don't either," Ruth Rose said. "But if the duffel bag is still inside Tyrone, we have to find it tonight."